No crazy edits, no crazy angles or lighting. Just straight, raw, real game. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to put you onto the source on how I actually got the physique I have now. So let's lock in, let's dive into it. So the beginning of my journey, before I even started fitness, I had a brand of around 300,000 followers across all platforms. Now the brand was called Aspire Mind. Some of you might have saw it, some of you may have not, but it was a self-improvement brand talking about law of attraction, spirituality. Now the issue with this was that I got super comfortable in life. At this time of running the brand, I was in a relationship, and that caused me to get extremely comfortable. With that comfortability, it led to binge eating, takeaways on the weekends, bed rotting with my girl, well, bed rotting with my ex, just watching movies, playing games, doing all the things that I shouldn't have been doing. Ultimately led me to having a puffy face, even losing my hair on top. Like the top of my head was extremely thin. Like as you can see now, it's growing back quite a substantial amount. There's still some sort of thinning, but it's not as crazy as it was here. Here was insane. But that comes down to being comfortable in life, being stressed out in a relationship, and just not following the right practices. But being in a toxic relationship, it can really destroy you as a man. As you can see, look how cooked I was. No muscle definition, trim was whack, beard outgrown. I just look scruffy. I look like a different person. I look like an entirely different person here. Like this man here, he's dead now, you know. But let's get into that. And this was, I think this here right here was a pinnacle moment for me, you know. If you guys know who this is, yes, I met him in a park, funny enough. Doing calisthenics with some friends. And he was just there with his sons on the bars, muscle ups in together and whatnot. But yeah, I looked back at this picture and I said to myself, wow, I look cooked. Like when I saw this picture of myself, I was not happy with how I looked. But because I was in a cycle of being so comfortable in life and just having everything on my plate, basically, having the business there that I was generating like £200 a day, being in a relationship as well, just having sex whenever you want, going out to eat junk food, doing this and that, you know how it is. That ultimately led me to this cooked fella right here. This picture was a pinnacle moment because I think I remember on this day as well, actually. My ex must have been calling me saying, oh, like, why you so out with your friends? Like, when you come to see me, da da da, you know, like, toxic shit, you know what I mean? But I think this day here, that's when things just changed for me. So as I'm going through all of that now, this is where the relationship's even more stressful. I end up losing the business because I'm so focused on the relationship rather than myself and my purpose. In turn, falling off. You know, I fell off on my business, fell off with the body. Well, I never had the body to begin with, but I was just super cooked. But then she was like, let's have a break. And I'm not no rookie in the game. I'm not gonna lie, I've had my fair share of women. I've been in multiple relationships. Not even just to brag, but just to say like, I can see things from a mile away. She must have hit me one day saying, oh, let's take a break, like wanna have a break. And obviously any guy knows what any guy who's dealt with women before knows exactly what that means. Cool, like if you wanna break, we're gonna break up, because I know what that means. Like it's either we resolve the issue there or we just go separate ways. So I was like, cool, whatever, have your break. And obviously I wasn't too happy about it. So I said to myself, let me go on a walk. I'm not gonna lie, I had a spliff as well. I had a little spliff. Going on that walk, like that did something for my mental. I don't know what it was, but having that spliff, going for that walk, it opened like a new reality for me. Because I thought about everything I was going through, the hardships in the relationship, the business, who I was as a person. I felt like I lost myself in that relationship, in the business, whatever. Now as I'm going for the walk, I'm praying to God for clarity, guidance. And I've never felt such a strong presence come over me and really enlighten me. You know, it's like God was communicating. This is your lesson, and you can either learn from this lesson or it can be another repeated lesson for you in the future. So I said to myself, cool, I'm gonna call this girl, we're gonna break up. So I ended up calling her. I said to her, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about everything that we've been through, I think it's just best we go separate ways. And then she was begging and pleading, saying, no, I don't wanna break up, The next day I literally went back on myself, which is the worst thing you can do. Like I remember she called me, she's like begging for me to get back with her. I said, cool, I'm gonna give it a chance. And then next thing you know, communication out the window, barely getting responses. Then out of nowhere, she's like, I think we should break up. And in my head, I'm thinking, wow, girls are evil. She wanted to be like, okay, I broke up with him, da, da, da. But anyways, enough about that. Let's get into actually how we get into physique. So now that I've gone through the heartbreak, the pain, the trauma, whatever you want to call it, I started going to the gym more. Clarity. I had clarity on where I wanted to be, who I wanted to be, and all that pain. So I was putting all that pain and heartbreak into fueling my workout. So my workouts were just hitting way more. I was making tons of progress. And I feel like if you're a guy or girl who's going through heartbreak, the gym is your savior. Now I've gone through all of that now. I had clarity. Clarity hit me like a ton of bricks. I said to myself, cool, I'm giving myself 60 days to get into the best shape of my life. to get my life in order, to get back to it. And that's exactly what I did. This is about a month, 2 months in of the journey. Like, I started seeing results. I lost the fat, but I wasn't as lean as I wanted to be, or I didn't really have that muscle like I wanted to. But this was a good start. You know, it was a good start. I had clarity. I was driven in the gym. Like, this body was built from pain. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was all fresh and new to me. You can see I still have a bit of fluff on me. From this to this, all it was is me just working out in the gym. I didn't really have any real structure. I was kind of I was eating healthy, like minimizing all the processed foods, junk food, cutting out all the foods I shouldn't be eating. Simple stuff. I was doing pretty much the same workout day in and day out. But with my workouts, I was doing a lot of supersets, a lot of intensity. Like, I was really pushing myself, because obviously if you're in pain and you're going through heartbreak, you're going to be putting all that anger and frustration out into them weights. So I was going crazy with it, I'm not gonna lie. And then I thought to myself, like, I'm seeing results, but I'm not seeing the results I want. This is a fun fact about me as well. I used to do athletics and calisthenics back in the day. Throw it back in my mind, and I said to myself, cool, like, what were some of the things I loved doing? It was running, calisthenics. So I thought, let me combine the two and also do weight training, because I wasn't seeing the results. So I said, cool, let's up it up a notch. I'm doing all these exercises and I'm incorporating calisthenics, weight training, and cardio. Cool. I'll do that for another 2 months now. I remember walking into the gym, and the gym I go to, obviously changing rooms, you're topless, you're about to shower, whatever. I remember being topless now, going to the shower. My boy was like to me, "Bro, you're looking bigger, you know." And I think on that day, that's when I realized, like, the progress is really starting to set in now. So as you can see from this video, this was literally 2 months of only working out on our program. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a massive difference from looking flat. Now you can see I'm not as defined here, to actually becoming way leaner, more muscle, becoming way leaner, actually losing fat and building muscle at the same time. I never thought it was possible until I actually did it. But you can see the physique here is massive, massive improvements from just changing these 2 little things in my workouts, which is calisthenics and Stairmasters. As you can see, my face slimmed up a lot here. Like, I look like a different person. But yeah, you guys get the gist. Like, the gains were crazy just from doing this step system. Now, if you want to improve in any area of your life, you must have an execution loop. And that's what helps me get from the physique I had to the physique I wanted. So what is the execution loop? It's taking action, getting feedback, repeating the cycle. So you repeat it and you adjust. So what does that entail exactly? I started my training, wasn't really seeing results. I said I want more than just this physique. And what did I go and do? And my body was the feedback for me. I didn't have the body I wanted. So I refined it. I went back to what I actually enjoyed, which is calisthenics and running. And I said, let me combine that into my new training program. And that's exactly what I did. And over time, I repeated that whole training system, which allowed me to get the body I have now. Now you might be thinking, what exactly was that? Well, I'm going to break it down for you, and I'm going to show you exactly how I trained. It's very simple stuff. You shouldn't overcomplicate anything. Anyone telling you need to be doing 100 workouts or you need to be eating this type of diet to get results, it's nonsense. And for the science-based lifters, like, come on now, man. Science-based is just a fancy term for lifting the weight. It's all the same thing. You don't need to overcomplicate things. At the end of the day, it's all marketing. Like, these science-based lifts and workouts, I look at them and I just cringe. Coming from someone who's always been active my whole life and see my dad, who was a massive guy, like, the muscle's crazy. But seeing that and then seeing these science-based lifters come in, it's just new age BS, you know? It's just a new brand of water in a different bottle. Like, stop falling for it, guys. Because you only need the simple basics to actually get a body you want. But let's get into it. Now, how to actually train. I call it the Leanmaxx Method, aka the hybrid approach. I have created a program around this. You can get it in the description if you want, whatever. But anyways, so the goal for every session is intensity, control, and performance. So I follow a 3-step system, which is what we have discussed. So calisthenics, resistance training, and cardio. But before I do any of that, I do warm up. If you want a separate video on that, I can make that for you guys, no biggie. But anyways, the calisthenics warm up, how do I do it? So this is a superset workout. So how I like to do the calisthenics warm up is 3 rounds. And I do that as a circuit. So I would always start with pull-ups, 10 pull-ups, into 5 hammer pull-ups, into 5 chin-ups, into 20 press-ups. Now there's no rest in between these exercises. You just go straight at it. I will warn you, it is difficult, but the more and more you get those reps in, the more and more your body will become used to it. But this is literally the source right here. If you actually want to build a lean aesthetic physique, because calisthenics is the most goated workout to do. Because if you look at a calisthenics athlete's body, you see how ripped, lean and strong they are. They have a very athletic physique. So why are you not utilizing doing calisthenics in your workouts? Now when it actually comes to doing these workouts, you're going to be doing full range of motion. Now if you're doing half reps, that just tells me the type of man you are. You're doing half reps, you're only going to get half the body you want. So let's do these full reps and really lock in with it. So for full range of motion, you're always going to lock out your reps. So if you're doing a pull-up, make sure your elbows are locked out all the way. And as you come back up, full contraction in. Simple stuff. Because there's a lot of people that will do half reps, half push-ups, half pull-ups and call it a rep. And then they see no progress and they wonder why they don't see any progress, because you're doing half reps. Now you have half a body. Now my favorite thing to do is static holds. This is very good for breaking down the muscle fibers and really incorporating the whole muscle even more. So at the end of, like, say for instance, I do 5 chin-ups. On my 5th rep, I'll hold it for like 5 seconds. And that burns the muscle out even more, causing more contractions, causing more muscle fibers to be incorporated. Very, very good for building muscle and getting stronger. So now once you've mastered all of that and the circuits become extremely easy, weighted calisthenics. This is progressive overload for calisthenics. If you've got a weighted belt, amazing. If you don't have a weighted belt, you can substitute for a dumbbell. But the way weighted calisthenics works is you're basically progressively overloading the weight. So if I'm doing pull-ups, I'll slap a 5 kg on. If that's too easy, I'll go 10 kg. And if that's too easy, I'll go 20 kg. Instead of going for 10 reps, I'll go for 6 to 8 reps. Now, if you're a beginner, I recommend using assisted bands. Now, you can find many assisted bands in the gym, but it's very easy to set up. You find a bar, you set the band up, and then you can do your work and set from there. Now, if you do not have assisted bands, I recommend the pull-up machine. Very easy to set up. A lot of gyms have it. Get an assisted pull-up machine and you work your way up to actual bodyweight pull-up. Now that we've got the hard part out of the way, let's go straight to the resistance training. So I follow a PPL push-pull leg split. Simple stuff. I believe in simplicity throughout everything. Simplicity is key. Now the PPL split. Simple stuff, easy to follow. How does that look? So for Mondays, I do a push day. Chest, shoulders, triceps. Tuesday, pull day, back and biceps. And legs, which is Wednesday. Quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves. I follow the same workout every week because simplicity is key. If you're overcomplicating the workouts you should be doing, or you're listening to people online saying, do this workout for your biceps, do that workout for your abs, it's going to cause more friction between you seeing the workout and actually doing it. So what you want to do is minimize that friction between the both. So keep things simple and stick to only one thing. So throughout my resistance training, I love doing supersets. I superset every single thing. And I feel like supersets is something that a lot of people don't speak about or tell you to do. If you actually want to build muscle, supersets is the way forward. So for every rep, you must control it. You don't want to be flinging up a weight like this because it's not doing anything for you. You want full control over that weight. And if you can't control it, the weight's too heavy for you. Don't be an ego lifter. So how to actually properly control the weight? Focusing on every single rep. You want to be using the tempo. I'll give you an example. As you bring the weight down, it'll take you 2 seconds. So I'll give you a little example. So 2 seconds down, 1, 2, and I've got my full flexion here. Now as I get to the bottom of that rep range, I pause for a second. When that second has gone by, explosive. So I drive the weight back up and I squeeze at the top of the rep. Method of choosing the rep and doing a correct rep range, I actually learned from the book, The Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, which is something I highly recommend if you're new to weight training. It's a book by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And in the book, he talks about training till failure. So you want to find a weight that is around 70% of your 1 rep max, meaning that I can do 10 reps of it, but on the 8th rep is when I'm really starting to fatigue and my muscles are struggling to keep up. That's the point of exhaustion and failure. That's where you want to reach. So what that could look like is, say for instance you do bench press, right? I would see what my 1 rep max is to begin with. Say for instance my 1 rep max is 100 kg. Cool. Because I want to be aiming for 10 reps, I'd go down to 70% of my 1 rep max, which would be 70 kg. So we've got a 70 kg bar loaded. And as I push up, I'm feeling the weight. It's feeling heavy. Now I'm going for 10 reps. Cool. Going for 10 reps, blah, blah, blah. When I reach the 7th to 8th rep, that's when the fatigue should kick in. If If I'm not feeling fatigued, the weight's too light. If I'm feeling fatigued even before that, and my form is sloppy, the weight's too heavy. But on the 7th to 8th rep is when I should be pushing to the point where, okay, this is my failure set. Let's push through that. Because with weights, you're always gonna feel the fatigue. If you're not feeling fatigue in your weights, you're not gonna see progress or growth in your muscle. Simple stuff, because when you're feeling fatigue and you're feeling a burn in your muscles, that means all your muscle fibers are contracting and activating. Full range of motion is important in any exercise you do. So if you're not utilizing full range of motion, you're not gonna be building a muscle that you wanna build. You're gonna be building half a muscle. A progressive overload. You must track everything. So you're gonna be tracking the weights you do, the reps you do, and your body. Track everything, because without tracking anything, you have no metrics to go off. So if you're going gym for 2 months and you have no sort of data, you're not gonna see if you're progressing or not. So when it comes to progressive overload now, say for instance, say your max is 100 kg, you only want to be adding a small increment of weight, meaning that instead of 100 kg, you'll be in 101 kg or 102.5 kg. That's slow and steady growth. That's realistic. You don't want to be trying to aim for 120 off the bat. You're just going to injure yourself. But that's the whole premise of progressive overload and why it's so important to track your workout. Now, when it comes to mind-muscle connection, you never want to zone out of your workout and just do the rep for the sake of it. You want to be focusing on the exact muscle that you're using. So if I'm doing bicep curls, I want full range of motion. So if your muscle isn't burning from your workout, you need to lock in and focus on that mind-muscle connection. Now, when it comes to rep ranges, you've got strength, hypertrophy, endurance. When it comes to strength, it means more heavier lift. So heavy compounds, bench, pull-ups, wherever it is, you want to be aiming for 4 to 6 reps. That should be the sweet spot for you. Now, when it comes to hypertrophy, a good rep range to do is 8 to 10 reps. It's a moderately heavy weight, something you can still lift, but you can aim for 8 to 10 reps. So like I said before, the 8th rep should be hard for you. It should feel like a failure set, because when I tell you the more and more you do this, your muscles will blow up. So endurance would be more lighter weight, so you'll be aiming for 12 to 15 reps. Supersets, finishers, burner sets. I love it all. I always finish my sessions off with cardio. Cardio. There's a lot of misconceptions about cardio. You're gonna lose muscle if you do too much cardio, or you're gonna kill your gains. But just think about the people who are saying this. All you need to do is look at their physique. If they have not got the physique you want, put them in the bin. You do not want to be taking advice from people who do not have the body you want, because that's the worst thing you can do. It's like taking advice from a homeless man on how to buy a home. Sometimes you just need to use your brain and discernment to think, okay, he ain't got the body I want, he's a bit out of shape. He's telling me not to do cardio. Do I listen to him, or do I listen to the guy who has the body I want? The only way you will lose muscle whilst doing cardio is if you're under eating and if you're not resting properly. That's gonna burn your muscle away. Now, what I like doing daily to keep lean, Stairmaster and 10 to 15k steps a day. Now, these two things is literally bread and butter. Like, put bread here, put butter, Stairmaster, 10k, 15k steps. It's very simple stuff. Please don't overcomplicate these things, guys. All you need to do is these two things daily, because if you really want to get lean and reach 10% or even 9% body fat, those are only two things you should be doing daily. Now, 10 to 15k steps may seem like a lot to you. 10 minutes of walking, 1,000 steps. So all you need to do is break down 10 minutes of walking throughout your day. So that can be 10 minutes of walking to the shops, or just going for a brisk walk on your lunch break, or whenever that is. So how I like getting my steps in is I like walking to the gym. Obviously I take public transport and stuff like that, but the walking from the public transport to the actual gym, there's steps in that as well. And this is also a cheat code as well. So I have a walking treadmill. So if I know I haven't hit my steps, I'm hopping on a treadmill for like an hour. I put a podcast on, a movie on, and that just allows me to get my steps in. Not only is walking good for weight loss, it's the best for weight loss because it's low intensity, steady state cardio. Your body is burning fat way more efficiently than running a 10k. Now, when it comes to Stairmasters, I like doing 10 to 20 minutes on the Stairmasters. But for this sake, we'll do 20 minutes. So how do I do it? So 20 minutes on the Stairmaster. It's going to be intense now, just to warn you. It's going to be very intense. So I like warming up on level 8, and I do that for 5 minutes. Straight after I've warmed up, we go straight to level 10. So you can see I'm going up by 2 levels. Keep that in mind. I do another 5 minutes at level 10 now. Now after 2 minutes of level 10, I go up to level 12. So I've gone up by 2 now. So after another 2 minutes, go up to level 14. And you kind of get the gist here. I never go any higher than level 15 because you don't need to be sprinting on the Stairmaster. It's not necessary. But as soon as I hit level 15, I work my way back down. You're gonna see tons of people that are on the Stairmaster for 2 hours, 1 hour, crazy times. Like, I promise you that is not necessary at all. And a lot of the people that are doing it, they're not even in insane shape. It's just, at this point, it's just vanity metrics. You're posting on your story that you was on the Stairmaster for 90 minutes, but you still got a mid physique. Get it together. But it's all about quality over quantity. You can burn more in 10 minutes than you can in 40 minutes. Fat, of course. I personally I'm not a fan of cardio, because I don't really want to be spending more than 30 minutes on a cardio machine, unless it's running, of course. That's the only exception. Let's talk about nutrition. Now, nutrition is very simple. Very, very simple. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, so we're not going to get into too much detail about it. But now, this is what's worked for me, and it will most likely work for you too. How I eat is very simple. I only eat whole foods, and I eliminate all processed foods and all sugar. I have neither of those. Processed foods and sugar is what's keeping your face chubby, and it's keeping the weight on your stomach. Once you eliminate these two things, that's when you're going to see all the progress. Now, I know a lot of you guys struggle with nutrition or eating a certain diet. Do not overcomplicate. It's very simple, I promise. All you need to be doing is eating the same meals every single day. Keep it simple, stupid. If you're having the same meals every day, you're not going to worry about what to eat next, because the meal, you already know what to eat. So I eat the same thing every single day. I don't need to use brain power on what to eat or how to eat this and that, because again, that's going to cause friction between you eating healthy, and you want as less friction as possible when it comes to eating. Now, I eat around it can either be 2 meals a day or 4 meals a day. 2 massive meals or 4 healthily portioned meals. And I also practice intermittent fasting. So I stop eating at 8 p.m. and I'll eat the next day at like 1 p.m. Simple. Because when you intermittent fast, the morning you have, it's amazing. The clarity, the motivation. You're just clear because your body's not focusing on breaking down foods, which causes brain fog, which causes you to be tired. Because have you ever ate like a big meal in the morning, straight after waking up, and you just feel exhausted? You feel like you want to take a nap again, even though you had 8 hours of sleep. So I highly recommend intermittent fasting. Now, what I usually like eating for breakfast, I normally get the Skewer brand, 0% fat. I have a few blueberries, dark chocolate, and maybe a drizzle of honey sometimes. But I keep it very simple. This is what I have every morning. And then I usually follow it up with, say for instance, if I'm training on that day, I'll follow it up with some sourdough bread, and I'd have 4 to 5 boiled eggs and a shit ton of water. So make sure you're getting your water in as well. Also, after those meals, I like having green tea. Green tea is very good for digestion. So I recommend you have it after every single meal, because it's going to keep the weight off, it's going to keep you looking lean, and it's going to give you a nice boost in energy. Now for my protein, I just have chicken, beef, eggs, and I usually have that with some sweet potatoes, some fruits. Like I'm not going to give you I'm not going to go through the whole full nutrition that I have. It's very simple stuff. Again, if you want it, Leanmaxx Method, it's inside there. Everything's all inside there. But I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't want to be giving you guys information that can possibly harm or hurt you. So all I'm going to say is keep it extremely simple. Don't eat foods you know you're not meant to be eating. A good rule of thumb is if the food is pre-made or in a packet, I do not eat it. And when I say in a packet, I mean foods like refrigerators or dairy dunkers or something silly like that. But I don't eat pre-made food. I make all my food from scratch, and it's something that you should be doing as well if you actually want to build a lean physique without all the extra fluffy belly fat and face fat. Now I'm a perfectionist. It's either I post this video or I don't post this video, because me personally, I feel like I could have went way more into depth, into detail. I feel like I missed a few things here and there, but I'm posting for the sake of you guys. I just want to give you a broad breakdown of everything I do to eat healthy, be healthy, and have a lean physique. But it's very simple stuff. So follow a 3-step system: calisthenics, resistance training, cardio. Do that every single day. When it comes to nutrition, keep it simple, stupid. Don't eat processed foods. Remove all sugar from your diets. If the food is pre-made, you leave, and prioritize your carbs. Carbs, don't be scared of carbs. Carbs are good for you. Carbs are good for your workouts. They're good for your energy. And it's good for your muscles as well. So don't be afraid of having carbs. Now, the type of carbs you can have: sweet potato, rice cakes, jasmine rice, quinoa. Keep it simple. But if you enjoyed this video of this raw breakdown, hit the subscribe button, and we'll get to another day for another $1. See you in the next one.